Atmospheric pressure and gauge pressure. At sea level, the atmospheric pressure, which we will denote P sub A, is about 1.013 times 10 to the 5 pascals. We call this also 1 atmosphere. Another unit of pressure is the bar. 1 bar is 1 times 10 to the 5 pascals. Most pressure gauges measure the pressure above or below atmospheric pressure. This is called gauge pressure. An example of this would be the pressure gauge one would use to check the pressure in one's tires. We'll denote gauge pressure as P sub G. Absolute pressure is the sum of the atmospheric pressure and the gauge pressure, the total pressure on an object. We write this as P equals P sub A plus P sub G, the sum of atmospheric and gauge pressures. Atmospheric pressure and gauge pressure. Torricelli invented a Mercury Barometer to measure atmospheric pressure. And as a consequence, we sometimes describe air pressure in millimeters or inches of mercury. That's a direct consequence of Torricelli's barometer. A glass tube is filled with mercury, as you can see here on the right. The glass tube is placed upside down in a container, which we call the reservoir, and this also contains mercury. The mercury level in the glass then falls and it creates a vacuum at the top. The barometer works by balancing the pressure of the mercury in the glass tube caused by, as we know, rho GH, the height of the mercury and its density, against the atmospheric pressure, which is pressing down on the mercury in the reservoir. If the pressure in the mercury caused by the mercury is less than the atmospheric pressure, the mercury level in the glass tube rises. If the pressure of the mercury is more than the atmospheric pressure, the mercury level falls. Atmospheric pressure is basically the pressure of the air in the atmosphere above the reservoir. So the level of the mercury changes until the pressure exerted by the mercury exactly balances the pressure of the air above the reservoir. Torricelli used this and measured that height and used that to specify atmospheric pressure. Again, as we discussed before, that's why we often talk about atmospheric pressure in terms of inches or millimeters of mercury.